It just reminds me of something that the Prophet Isa alayhi salam is reported as saying in the Injil. And that particular statement was, man shall not live by bread alone. I don't know if any of you know this statement. But this has a profound meaning. That mankind cannot live by eating and drinking alone. We cannot survive. Understand this. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that before the day of judgment, before the time of the Dajjal, that 1 year the sky will withhold 1/3 of the rain and the earth will withhold 1/3 of its crop. And the second year, 2/3 of the rain will be withheld and the earth will withhold 2/3 of its crop. And in the third year, the sky will not rain and the earth will not produce anything green. And the people asked the Prophet ﷺ, how will people live in these times? He says, those who recite La ilaha illallah, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, they will live by that. And we must understand that our sustenance is not our food and drink. That our nourishment, our body, our life is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the sustainer of that. We are not in charge of it. Yes, we feed it. But there's a different type of food that our body requires that we must give it. Otherwise, it becomes like the dead. And there's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He says that the house in which the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is remembered, and the house in which He is not remembered, is like the living and the dead. So our sustenance is derived from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Muslims, we need to know this. Not by our own hands, not by what we have in our home. So man shall not live by bread alone. We hope, inshallah, that we achieve purity of our hearts, we are able to lower gaze, and to protect our limbs and body during Ramadan from doing anything haram. Fasting is in fact recommended for the unmarried to control natural desires. Our natural tendency is to eat and drink. In Ramadan, we control our natural desires. We may have a natural tendency to speak ill about someone, or to think ill about someone, or to envy, or to be jealous. We may have a natural tendency. In Ramadan, we are supposed to control those natural tendencies. And we must try to do that. Ramadan is not only about coming to the masjid and reading Salatul Taraweeh and denying food and drink in the day. This is not Ramadan. Ramadan is to achieve taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to understand who we are. And if we have a tendency to tell lies, hopefully in Ramadan we make that effort to reduce the amount of lies we tell or eliminate it. Or any other activity that is detrimental to our soul. So to achieve the taqwa that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that fasting is prescribed for, we must control our natural tendencies and desires. Whatever we have done the 11 months before Ramadan, this is the month where we have to learn to control it. And if we cannot learn to control our natural tendencies in Ramadan, we will not learn it out of Ramadan. Understand this. Fasting is to achieve taqwa. The sum is to achieve taqwa. And this is expressly stated in Quran by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How else can we do it? If we go and we just start to study Islam, we're not going to achieve taqwa. Understand this. Studying Islam alone is not achieving taqwa. We have to understand that this fasting, this month of Ramadan, was given to us to learn how to get here. Just a list. Ramadan, I said, is a month of sacrifices. We do fasting. Many people give their zakat in Ramadan, although that's not the requirement, by the way. You know, many people feel that in the month of Ramadan you give zakat, there's so much more blessings for it. But zakat can really be given at any time of the year. Ramadan should be the month of sadaqah, right? The things that you do that you wouldn't normally do. Zakat is a requirement, we all have to do that. Sadaqah you don't have to do. It's the month of Quran. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself spoke to man and left the words for all generations after. His words are there. preserved for us. If we didn't have tape recorders in those days, and the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He preserved it for all of us. It's a month of revelation. In this month is Laylatul Qadr. And you find that night, and if that night finds us in praying, in salat, asking forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the rewards we get is more than an entire lifetime, almost 1,000 months. Last night, the Sheikh mentioned something very important. He said, one of the regrets we will have on the Day of Judgment is what did we do with our time? He said, 1 second, we will regret what we did every second. And he said, 1 second will be worth billions of dollars to us. If 1 second is worth that much, what about this one night? A whole night. So let's not regret that we missed this fasting, the Ramadan, the Laylatul Qadr, and all the good that we can do in Ramadan. And the Muslim goodness does not end with Ramadan. We get constant reminders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a month of mercy. We ask for forgiveness. We make lots of dua. And we understand that you can also achieve freedom from the fire in this month. It's a lot of blessings. It's a month for improving ourselves. Firstly. So with all this that we talk about Ramadan, let's go back now and think about what was the purpose of Ramadan, right? I've mentioned it a few times. And we have to ask ourselves after Ramadan is finished. And this is why I made this topic of the discussion a reflection on Ramadan, is that we have to ask ourselves, now that Ramadan is finished, did we achieve the purpose of Ramadan? Did we achieve that purpose? Did we achieve that taqwa? Or did we get part of the way there? Did we increase our taqwa? What happened? What did Ramadan do for us? This is the time, we've been through it, now is the time to assess. Where are we now versus the beginning of Ramadan? And it's a question I cannot answer for anybody. We only can answer it ourselves. Take a look at ourselves. What were we doing? What are our actions before Ramadan? Ramadan went and it's gone. And where are we today? Did we improve? Did we achieve it? Did we make the progress to go towards the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is there any improvement in our life? If I give someone my keys, I say, go to my car and open the door, and in the car is a $100 bill, take it. And they bring my keys back. And the person goes out to the car, tries the keys on the door, the keys don't work. Come back, I say, well, did you get the thing that I sent you for? The person will tell me, well, the keys didn't work. Right? So if you don't get what you want, the thing didn't work. You understand this? If you did not get what I sent you for with this key, and the key didn't work, you will never get what I sent you for. Well, in Ramadan we were sent to achieve taqwa. And if we didn't use the right key, we won't get there. Right? And understand is that all of our actions are based on intention. And we have to make that intention going into Ramadan. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I've done all of this thing in this year. From this month, I want to improve my life. And then after this month, I want to keep on that same journey. Because if you don't make that intention, you know what? We will go with the key to the car and we will never find the gold. Right? To find Ramadan to be positive on us, we have to go with the right intention, with the right attitude. And then maybe we'll discover the key that opens all doors. We don't want Ramadan to become a ritual. Salat is already becoming a ritual. Well, it's Salatul Fajr, let's go do this Salat. At the time of Salat, before the time of Salat, there has to be this fear that comes into you. That I'm going to stand before my Creator at this time. We have to think seriously about what we're going to do. Ramadan is coming. We have to think seriously about what we want to do in Ramadan. You see, don't let it become a ritual. Otherwise, it'll just be like getting up in the morning, going in the shower, taking a bath, going to work, coming home, collecting your salary every Friday,